Good morning, everybody. It's Danny and Wanda back over here at Pecan Grove. Guys, we're beginning to start deciding on the property what trees need to come out and what trees need to stay. Well, I've been doing some clearing with my tractor up here, and I realized there was an old trash pile right here, and they had been burning this years ago, and a lot of the trees have begun to rot on the sides, and some of them are dying. So I'm going around with some marking paint, and I'm just putting old paint on them. So when the track hoe comes in here, he'll know what I want taken out. Like, we got all these trees here. Now there's a pecan tree right here, and y'all know how I am about pecans. I want this pecan tree to be able to flourish, so I'm taking out these trees that's right here around it, anywhere close to it, and I'm gonna leave the old big tree right here. And I got this giant cedar right here.
We ain't touching the cedar.
No, we ain't touching that cedar tree. That thing,
it's huge.
Probably 100 years old. And then when we come on down the hill, there's a live oak right here that's been shaded off on this side right here because of all these other trees here. Well, now there was a big old trash pile here that had been burnt some stuff around it and all, and these trees are just barely hanging on. So I'm taking my paint can, and these will make good firewood for us over at the other place. I'll just get the track hoe to come in here and take all this stuff up and lay them on the ground for me where I can cut them up into firewood for Deepsouth Homestead over there. And we'll take all this stuff back over there and utilize it there for firewood instead of wasting it. And then the limbs and all that's left over, we'll have him push them off in a trash pile somewhere. So actively going around the property right now, just looking for pecan trees out of everything, trying to save them. And we're going to be taking y'all into the woods because this place was growed up so bad. It used to look just like this right here, all of it. And they came in here and I'm gonna say it was about 2 years ago. One of the owners came in here and had a track hoe come in here and clear all this up down in here because you couldn't see nothing. This was all woods, or an overgrown field. Let me say that, with timber all in it and everything. And they came in here and cleared all this land up in here where you could see the pond again and left a few trees scattered around. Dug a giant hole in the property right over here, put all that debris off in it, set it on fire, burned it, and then pushed the dirt back over it and covered it back up. And now we have this beautiful scenery right here. I plan on taking it to its next level.
So 25 years ago, what did it look like?
25 years ago, there was not a tree on this hill nowhere when I used to come in here. There was no trees out here anywhere. This was all pasture.
Except for over
here. There's a pecan orchard over here, growed up in the woods.
And all that.
And all that over there. That's a pecan orchard. There's probably still, I think I counted 8 or 10 pecan trees still left planted in rows in there with timber growed up all around them. I'm planning on having a track hoe, if I can financially afford it, come in and take out and clean out around all those big old pecan trees. And Wanda and I is going to see if we can't start liming them. We've already done soil samples. We're waiting on it to come back. We're going to lime them and fertilize them according to the soil analysis that it requires, and see if we can't put those pecan trees somewhat back into production in the future. And that won't happen this year, but maybe in a few years from now, it'll start bearing pecan trees on those old pecan trees. It was an orchard. And then all the other pecan trees around here, like the one that's right here, we are don't know what they'll be. Could be a pecan no bigger than that. I don't know. But it doesn't matter to me because it's good for wildlife. If we need them to eat, we'll always have them. And I like pecan trees. So we've probably got 500 more on the property all through these woods that I'm just going to take time and go around through and tie ribbons on them and take my tractor, clean up around them one by one until I get them all cleaned out. And that is part of the journey, guys, is figuring out what trees you want to leave on a homestead. Now, I'm not going to just put a dozer and a track hoe in here and just let him go crazy pushing.
Because Miss Wanda likes what kind of trees?
Miss Wanda likes hollies.
And pines.
And pines.
And that don't go too good with what Danny likes.
No, I know these old pine trees in the fields out here aren't worth anything. They're just
But
we're
saving them.
But at our age, I don't know how much longer we'll have cattle. And I'm not going in here and take all this timber and trees down so I can have pasture and then get rid of my cows and just have open fields. I would rather have the woods. When I get older, I like wildlife. I like riding around through the woods and just looking at nature.
And we're going to turn this into kind of like a wildlife
It'll be like
refuge
a wildlife
in
refuge
the back.
when we
All
get through it.
this.
As a matter of fact, I bet you if you look on the ground, look at here.
Oh, yeah.
See here? This has been since it rained the other day. Right here already.
Already. There's
They're
another
all
one.
in here. Look at here where they've been walking. Everywhere in here.
So we're fixing to set up cameras too.
Oh yeah, we'll have cameras set up.
Our goal is to be able to watch the wildlife and enjoy.
Yeah.
And we just got to get there.
We just got to get there. It's going to take time. The more clearing up we do, the nosier these deer become. They just start pouring out of the woods everywhere, and we like to just sit and watch them when they come out of the woods. We can't do that over at Deepsouth Homestead because there's just too many neighbors over there. Over here where we're away from everybody, and we're off out in, I call it the wilderness basically, because there's nobody right here against us, we just love it. And we're out here just enjoying nature at its finest.
We're super excited. We're clearing out some, and look what we found. Rats had stored these pecans. Two different types, looks like. These are older, but it proves with all the trees around here, somewhere there's something producing. These are some really big old pine trees. I am back here where Danny's cleaning to find this back, that tall tree in the back is the corner post. So he's cleaning out the brush around it so we can find a way to put a fence and then come across this way with a fence. But this was Danny's huge thing that he loved about this property. See those trees in the center sticking up there so proud? Those are old pecan trees. Years ago when Danny came on this property, they were about maybe a quarter of around the size, and now they're all grown up. So that's what we say, when you go on property you have to know your trees, because that just looks like an oak tree to most people. I think he said there was close to maybe 6 or 8, 10 giant pecan trees in here. So all this has got to be cleaned out around, and there's a fence in here. I don't know if y'all can see it. That's what you have to watch for, that fence. It's a cross fence to be cleaned up. And Pecan Grove, that is why I called it that. There's huge pecan trees, and then there's lots and lots of little ones. So we've got to figure out which ones are producing and find out how to clean these up, get them producing again. What I was just showing you was smilax vines, or roots, and these are the vines. You see they grow all up in trees. See if I can get to the leaves. Now cows love to eat the leaves, but they grow, and when left alone, this is what it looks like. It's crazy. And those roots are so big, if you leave one root in the ground, see it's done took over that tree. You leave one little teeny piece of root, and this is what you end up with. So Danny's trying to get all the roots out of the ground. So that's something you have to watch for, is smilax. It does have medicinal purposes. The shoots that come up look like little asparagus in the spring, and you can cook them like asparagus. But when they get to be this, they will take over a place, as you can see. Where Danny's at looked like this. It was all vines. All these have been sprayed to kind of kill them back so they can be cleared out. But you see up high, these are the smilax. Some of them are grapevines. You got all kinds of stuff growing in there. Then you've got like this, the yopons and the privies and the briars, and you know, just a combination of stuff. And it creates a fence. Over 25 years, it really takes over a place. You can't tell that behind there what it looks like. There's a pasture back there, but you can't see it because the fence row is totally covered like this.